What is going on, guys? So we're extremely close to Robotaxi launching its version 14 FSD. And I wanted to make a quick video on FSD and how it's potentially going to be rolling out. So, first of all, FSD version 14 is most likely not going to be running in Austin, Texas. The reason why it's not going to be running in Austin, Texas as the first launch, right, is because Austin, Texas is operating with safety riders in the passenger seat. It would be highly unsafe for Tesla to launch a brand new version of software, even if in simulation it's much better than version 13. It'd be highly unsafe for them to launch a new version that hasn't been tested by humans in the real world and immediately launch it into Robotaxi where there's not a physical driver in the car. And this is actually a challenge that Tesla has like into the future as they scale Robotaxi. How are they going to go about making it so that they can test it? Now, I have a good theory on what they could do there, and that's using me and you. Let us be the validation drivers, aka let FSD version 14, 14.1, 14.2 roll out to us, just Tesla drivers, Tesla owners. Let us drive it, right? And then we will do all the driving and validating. They'll see all the interventions. They'll be able to correct for those different interventions, and they can still target on specific cities and correct those interventions prior to other interventions. Like, say, for instance, all the people driving Teslas in Austin, Texas, they can then just correct all the Austin, Texas interventions prior to moving on to interventions outside of that. Correct interventions in California. And they're especially going to need to do that once they start to remove the driver from the car. The same way that Austin has the driver in the passenger seat, your safety rider or whatever. Once you do that, you really can't introduce a new version of the software into that fleet. You have to test it by human drivers, and the human drivers are going to be us. And so then what might even happen with that is, like, when we go from like version 14 to like version 15, and even whenever you go from like minor revisions like a 14.2 to a 14.3, they might have to let's say, for instance, we get to supervised, or unsupervised. We have unsupervised in our own personal vehicles. Tesla may say, hey, here's an update. We're going from version 14.2. We're going to go to version 14.3, or maybe it's version 15. Maybe it has to be a major revision before it becomes an issue. But here's what happens. Here we're going to upgrade from version 14.2 to 14.3. You're unsupervised. However, whenever you drive the version, what's going on, Frankie?
Love you.
I love you. Whenever you drive, or whenever
school, okay?
Huh?
It's ready for school, okay?
I know. Whenever you go to the version 14.3, we have to temporarily remove your unsupervised driving. And now it's optional, like if you want to accept that update, or if you want to let other people accept that update, and then 1 month later, 2 months later, that update has been validated and then can be unsupervised again. So it's highly likely, until we get to like version like 15, 16, maybe even 17, where they're able to release version updates of FSD and not require human safety validation. I think we're going to need human safety validation for a long time. I don't want to say forever, but I mean, whenever you release a new piece of software, even if you ran it through simulation, no matter what, it really needs to be validated in the real world to verify that we're not going to run into issues. And they can always follow the same method of like rolling it out slowly and not rolling it out to just the mass public in one day. Let's roll out this version, let other people test it, and then kind of do that validation on a more like a periodic type of rollout. So the next thing that I do think that they're 100% going to do is they're going to allow or go ahead and release version 14 in all of the California robotaxis. Why? There's a human driver in the seat. So the safety risk that is there for Austin with not having the safety rider in the seat is not there for California. So again, I think version 14 is going to release in California. I also think every other city that is testing FSD and is doing validation is going to be doing validation on version 14, and your version 14.1 and your version 14.2. I don't think that we'll see Austin, Texas have the version 14 of FSD until, and when I told them, this is for Robotaxi, I think the humans of Austin, Texas are actually going to get priority of version 14 FSD. Why? Because they need to validate version 14 in Austin, Texas as quickly as possible. Why? So they can roll it out to Robotaxi. They need to get it implemented into Robotaxi as quickly as possible. One, because it's a better AI model. Secondly, they need to get more and more miles to get that version validated. I'm not sure what the stipulations are going to be governmentally with Tesla having to re-verify every time they do a version update. There's a plausibility regulation is going to say, hey, like, this is a new version update. You need to revalidate again. This is a new version. Again, I don't know if anything like that's in place. It may or may not be today, but it may or may not be into the future. So that's something that could definitely change. But like on an engineering standpoint and a safety standpoint, they have to roll these things out in this way. Again, let's recap on that. California and every other city where they're validating and testing Robotaxi is going to get version 14 immediately. Version 13, why waste any more time on version 13? They haven't given us an update for 6+ months. Why? Because they moved on to version 14. Now, I've talked about this in some of the past videos. Go subscribe and check out some of those past videos. I did a video on like parameters. Actually, I have the YouTube channel pulled up right here. I never reference videos that well because I don't remember what videos I make. But yeah, I talk about like AI compute and how like Tesla's going to win due to building out the AI infrastructure and building out the data centers for being able to compute and run simulations on things like FSD, Optimus, and as like FSD gets accomplished, they're going to be able to move on to other things. I'm not going to get into that. I can rant on for 30+ minutes. A lot of my videos end up being 30-45 minutes long. I'm trying to make this a shorter one. But check out some of them longer videos if you want to kind of give like some more breakdowns of some different things that are going on with like Tesla AI, Robotaxi, Optimus, all those good things. Actually, I'm an expert in automation and robotics. Spent my entire career in automation and robotics. So, Optimus is like a big thing that I'm really focused on. It's also another big reason why I'm invested in Tesla. Automation in general, Robotaxi FSD is automation in the real world, just not in a manufacturing environment like I spent my career in. But one last recap. We're going to see FSD version 14 in California and in all the cities they're validating. You're going to see it probably go first to the humans in Austin, Texas, the owners of Tesla vehicles. Again, we need to validate version 14 in Austin, Texas, primarily, so we can do any corrections and bug changes and all that. So whenever they do a 14.1 to 14.2, those 14.1 to 14.2 are going to be corrections for Austin, Texas, and also simultaneously, they're probably doing the same for California, because when I say California, I think it's San Francisco or whatever, but my memory's not great, so I try not to reference things if I might have it wrong. They're also gonna in the same instance do that one as well, because they do want to remove the safety rider out of that vehicle. And so like as they roll out and scale out, as they test like version 1 or 14.1, 14.2, and let's say version 15, they can have the same methodology. Let's say, for instance, we over the next year or something, we are in like 10 major cities. Okay, we're in 10 major cities. We're going to release version 15. Now, like whatever this new like semi-test city is, one of the not one of the 10 cities that we're currently operating in, but let's say city number 11, 12, 13, let's give them the new version of the update, because they still have safety drivers in the car, right? And let them test it, and then give the FSD version 15 to the individual owner operators of Tesla vehicles for all the cities that Robotaxi is currently operating in. Those would be the first rollout individuals, because again, they need to collect as much data for those areas. And I'm speaking to you guys on an engineering principle, right? On a safety standpoint and an engineering basis. So this is the way they have to do it. Like there might be other instances that I'm not thinking about at this current moment, but this is the way they have to roll this out, and the only way that it makes sense. It just like whenever you break things down on an engineering basis, they have to be done in a certain way, or else you're doing something that doesn't make sense, right? And somebody like Elon, Tesla, the way that their culture is in their company, everything they do is on a definitive engineering basis, which is, it's the same thing as like practicing law, right? Everything is very definitive. This is the smartest approach, and you break things down in a way that make things like the most definitive, right? The most truth, right? And so that's the way they're going to execute. And also I think that as far as early release individuals, you're going to see some of those next cities. So if we go back and we look at like some of the cities where Tesla is hiring the Robotaxi vehicle operators, those cities will also get version 14 sooner than a lot of other cities. I'm here in Evansville, Indiana, southern Indiana, very tip of it. I'm basically in Kentucky almost. But we probably won't get it for a little bit of time. Why? Because we still need to get it in Chicago, Miami, a bigger city like here in Indiana, Indianapolis, New York. Let's see. I think all of Texas is going to be covered, which is another one of the videos that I've made. All of Texas. I think they're going to consume Texas because you have some major cities there. You have Austin, Houston, Dallas, San something. But yeah, there's some major cities in Texas, and you also have a lot of travel through there. You have the Dallas-Fort Worth, which is an international airport. So you have people traveling from outside the country into the area, and people could then choose to fly into, let's say, Dallas-Fort Worth, and then Robotaxi out to wherever they need to go, and it might be cost effective enough that it's worth it for them to take those type of rides versus maybe landing in Dallas-Fort Worth and then having to like fly to Houston or something like that, right? Like another like 30-minute flight or something. When it's like a 2-hour drive, might be just as fast as you jump in a car, especially if you're not staying directly in that city, and then you get to that city, and then you still have to drive 45 minutes outside of the city to get to wherever your final destination is. And that's some of the economics of the future of like Robotaxi and how that might play out. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts and predictions are for Tesla FSD version 14. Version 14 is going to be the deciding factor of the future of Tesla for the next 6 to 18 months. And it's going to have an impact maybe even the next 3 months. But like, it's really going to dictate the next 6 months to 18 months. What's up, man?
I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Yeah, I'm like 15 more minutes for going to school.
Okay. All right, Hot Rod.
I'm wearing my glasses.
But yeah, it's going to highly dictate it because how well it functions. FSD, if it functions so well that it could pretty much be unsupervised, and if Tesla's confident enough that we can have version 14 unsupervised as owner-operators of our, Tesla-owned vehicles, that will be a huge indicator. I don't think they will do it. Tesla doesn't want to give us FSD unsupervised. It's a liability, especially owners of a vehicle. They'd like to give FSD unsupervised to potentially new buyers of Tesla because that increases their sales for their vehicles. And they're going to get revenue. They're going to get revenue from like unsupervised and stuff like that. But there's not going to say a lot of people, but there's a decent amount of people that own FSD. So like they're not going to make any revenue off of me because I own both FSD in both my vehicle and my Teslas. So they're not going to get like a recurring revenue. That cost has already been consumed. Like I'm no more revenue generation. However, on the flip side, there will be a lot of people that don't own it and that will pay for that subscription revenue after you have unsupervised. So again, I don't think they're gonna they're gonna hold off as long as possible, and they're only probably gonna allow it in certain cities first. Like Austin, Texas might get it first, and they might even get it in this version 14. I just don't think in like an area like Evansville, Indiana. I think once Robotaxi's fully active, no safety rider in the car, Tesla almost has to give the access to the individuals there, because you can say, come on, man, like there could be some liability issues on the legality side of things. with not giving owner operators FSD when you have Robotaxi operating without any safety riders. Peace out. 15 minutes deep. I don't want to keep this video any longer. I can keep talking. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll catch you on the next one.